In this video series, I'll show you how to use Serval API. Serval API is being developed by the SIL Natural Language Processing team, and they've taken the AI model called No Language Left Behind, developed by Meta, in other words Facebook, and they've wrapped it with code to make it very easy for those of us who are translating the Bible to use it. So this series will have two parts. Part one is fine-tuning the AI model. Part two is retrieving your drafts. So, in part one, there are 6 steps. First, we log in to this website here. If you don't have credentials, meaning a password, you can send an email to johnlambert@sil.org. So let's go to this website. So here we are, and the first thing we need to do is log in. So we click here, and I have my own ID and password. I'll paste them in. Okay, so we've logged in. That's step number 1. Next, we need to upload our 2 paratext files. You always use a pair of language. You can use any 2 languages, but for each one you need a paratext zip file. And for this video, I'm going to use the Dedua Bible and the Megabot New Testament. These are 2 languages spoken in Papua New Guinea. To get these zip files, the easiest way is to open up your paratext project and then go to one of the menu options is called Make a Backup of your project. So you make a backup, and then make sure that in each zip file you have the settings.xml file, which we see right here. And let's check the Megabot project also. Okay, settings.xml. And while we're here, I'll mention one more thing. These are the 3-letter abbreviations that Paratext uses for each of the books. So MAT is Matthew, MRK is Mark, etc. You will need these 3-letter abbreviations when you train the AI model. These we'll mention these later. So both of these have the settings.xml file. So let's upload our 2 paratext files. We open up Files, upload a new file, click Try it out, choose a file. We'll upload the Dedua Bible first, and we need to specify that this is a paratext file and rename it. I share my Serval API account with 2 other people, so I always put my name at the beginning of all of my files, so my files aren't mixed up with theirs. And click Execute. And the response code is 201. If we look down here, 201 means the file was created successfully. While we're here, let's copy the ID of this file, because we're going to need it later. And let's paste that into a Word doc. This is the okay. And now let's upload the Megabot New Testament. Let's change the name. Click Execute. Response code 201, which again means the file was created successfully. Let's also copy and paste this ID. So we're done uploading our files. Let's close up this. So we've uploaded our 2 paratext files. Now we're ready to create an engine, step 3. So we open up Engines, create a new translation engine. Click try it out. Okay, the name. Okay, source language. Here we enter the name, actually the code. Okay. NLB was built with 200 languages. I'm going to put this website, this URL, down in the description of this video. For now, let's go there. So here are the 200 languages that an LLB was trained with. If one of your languages, presumably your source language, happens to be one of these, so if your source language happens to be Cebuano, you'll get slightly better results if you use this code. If your source language is Czech, you'll get slightly better results if you use this code. But most of the world's languages, the languages that still need the Bible, they're not in this list. And if you don't have access to the list when you're fine-tuning the AI model, that's fine. You can put anything you want. But you will get slightly better results. If either of your languages are in this list, then you should use this code. So let's go back. Dedua and Migaba are not in that list. So for source language, I'm going to say Dedua. For the target language, Migaba. For the type, they show us up here. Type is NMT for Neural Machine Translation. And click execute. Okay, the code is 201, which means the translation engine was created successfully. Let's copy this ID. We will need it later. Okay, so we've created our engine. Now we need to assign a corpus to the engine. So we go back here. We can close this up. Add a corpus to a translation engine. Click try it out. Okay, we need our translation engine ID. Come back here. Copy it. Okay, name. This is our corpus. So source language. Use the same names you entered before. So previously, if you used one of those ISO codes, you should enter that ISO code here. But if you didn't use a code, just use the same names that you used previously. Okay, the source files, we need their ID. So the source will be our Dedua Bible. Its ID is right here. For the target files, we need the file ID. I've been told for the text ID we should enter the same thing. We can enter anything we want, but they need to be the same. I usually enter Bible. Click execute. Code is 201. The corpus was added successfully. Let's copy this ID. That's all we need for the IDs. There are 4 of them for every time you fine-tune the model. There are 4 IDs, so we now have all 4 of them. So we've assigned a corpus to the engine. The next step the next step is to start the engine. So let's close this. Start a build job for a translation engine. Okay, we need the engine ID. Let's quick try it out. We need the engine ID right there. The name. We need the corpus ID. And then here, text IDs, these are the 3-letter paratext codes for the books that you want drafted. So let's say GEN and RUT for Ruth. So after the model has been fine-tuned, it will then draft Genesis and Ruth in Megapop. Click Execute. Code is 201. We don't need this ID. So now, okay, the state is pending. It's on step 0, state is pending, meaning it's waiting for its turn. It's nice before you leave, so everything is done, but it's nice before you leave to check and make sure it actually gets started. So that's step 6. Check the engine status. So let's close this one here. Again, get the engine ID. This one we can just leave blank. Execute. Okay, so now the state is active. So it started. It's still on step 0. It takes time, but the state is active. So you know your job, your job has been started. Now you need to wait for about 4 or 5 hours and come back again, and the books right here, Genesis and Ruth, will be waiting for you.